Blizzard has done it again. Sunwell Plateau has been announced finally, but they're only giving us 6 days until the actual release of the raid. Now, there's a lot of implications, and we're going to talk about those in a second, but this is the most rushed release of any sort of content patch in all of World of Warcraft Classic history. For the most part, every time a season has ended from a PvP season, we have had 2 weeks until the next raid. Everyone has always expected that, but this time the season actually ended yesterday for EU, and 6 days from now, we are also going to be having the new raid. This means you do not have as much time as you thought to prepare, and it also means a lot of guilds only have either one more speed run in Black Temple, or actually have already run their last speed run without even knowing it. Okay, so here we are on the actual WoW Blizzard forums, and they're basically saying to face the Fury of the Sunwell on May 12th. Originally, on the actual original release of Sunwell Plateau, the raid was gated, and I'm just going to skip to that right now because it's something that's really important. On this actual release of the Sunwell Plateau raid, we actually will see the entire raid coming out at one time, instead of only being able to fight a couple bosses, having to wait a couple weeks until we can finally get to the last boss, Kill Jaden. So instead, we are going to have no attunement for this raid, and we are also going to have, unlike the original release, it will all be released at one time right away from the start. There are a few other things, though, that are important. This is a 6-boss raid, and this is a massive step up in difficulty in anything we've had so far in any version of World of Warcraft Classic. But on top of that, we are getting new dailies. Now, the new dailies, the Shattered Sun Offensive dailies, are releasing on May 10th. So the actual patch will release on Tuesday for NA, Wednesday for EU, and Thursday for China. But as we all know, the raid is coming out globally, which means it will come out at 3 p.m. PST on Thursday, May 12th for NA, which is also midnight for EU. And I'm not sure what time it is for the Chinese realms, but they don't usually compete in Race to World First. Now guilds need to really shift their focus towards Sunwell instead of their last speedruns. And the real implications here for that is that a lot of guilds actually were planning to do their craziest speedruns next week. But instead, some guilds actually have already done their speedruns. Blizzard is announcing this on Thursday, when the reset for NA was Tuesday, the reset for EU was Wednesday. If any of these guilds have already done their runs, they're screwed. That includes Space Force, Overclock, and a few others. They can't do another speedrun to try to put up another world record or to try to beat Noobs. Noobs actually still does have 2 runs they can do. And there's other guilds like Progress who just recently started speedrunning who only have 1 good go at it. But if you didn't know this information before, it could have massively screwed you and screwed any guilds that are going for the Black Temple speedrun scene. It's kind of like Blizzard kind of spitting in the face of the speedrun scene, unfortunately, which is just starting to ramp up, and Black Temple is the best raid in all of TBC for speedrunning. Now, the main reason why Blizzard might be pushing out this content release early is most likely to boost numbers for Q4 and to push out Wrath of the Lich King early, which is actually really exciting, but it still is kind of a bummer to just rush through some of the content. One thing I didn't mention also is that the dailies from the Shattered Sun Offensive are going to be time gated like they were back in the day, so not all of them will be released as your server unlocks more and more of them, and then eventually you'll get access to vendors, the Badge of Justice vendors, professions vendors, everything like that, with epic gems and epic gear items, so you can swap your gear that you get in Sunwell Plateau. Also, we are seeing the release of Season 4, which is actually having kind of a lower version of the requirements for some of the items. We're actually seeing the shoulders are going to be at a 2K rating that you're going to need to be able to buy shoulders, 1.85 for the weapons, and so on and so forth, as you can read right below. Back in the day, Season 4 is when these items all jumped up, actually, and to be able to buy shoulders used to be 2.2K rating. Other than that, that is the big release today. That is the big news. That is the big announce. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Do you think Sunwell is being rushed out? Do you guys even have your raid guides planned? I mean, most raid guides aren't even done, but if you want to see some, I would highly recommend checking out my boy Jordy. He is working on finishing them, but they are extremely well done. And if you want to go into this raid and actually complete it, you definitely are going to want to know what each boss does and how to kind of structure your comp, your strategy, your positioning, all of that. And with that being said, guys, good luck on all your loot there. I will have a podcast coming up about loot prio a bit, but this is the end of the game. If you're too worried about loot prio, honestly, it's not really the time to focus too much on that. We'll touch on it a bit. I gotta re-invoke the memes of don't listen to his lies. So I'm out for the weekend. I will see you guys all on Monday.